Hey Bernie, Tim Handren, your mayor here. Today is Wednesday, November the 9th. It's the morning after the election last night. We'll talk a little bit about that as that relates to our local community, but we had a city council meeting last night, and so I wanted to bring you the next edition of the Mayor's Minute. Probably the most important thing that we covered last night is we got our final report from the Kendall County Boerne Fair Oaks Transportation Planning Committee, something that we started almost 3.5 years ago, and after countless meetings, interruption from COVID, never-ending determination to get something done. That entire committee of 20 people plus our two co-chairs, Bob Manning and Don Durden, delivered to City Council last night. We were the first stop in their wrap-up of this whole project. They delivered to us their final report called County at a Crossroads.
The fact that such a diverse committee unanimously supports this report speaks volumes about the hard work they put into it and their desire to provide useful suggestions.
And in here, there's a series of projects and recommendations that committee has given to us. They will give that to Kendall County, and they will also give that to Fair Oaks. I'm very, very appreciative of all the work that went into that. This doesn't mean that all problems are solved. It means that, you know, from this group, there are some solutions that have been put on the table, and we'll be looking at that and integrating that into our plans within the city, and hopefully the county will do the same. Glad that's done, and for those folks, thank you very, very much for your time and energy that you put into that for our entire community. I think it's a pretty big deal. And you know, what's interesting also is the election finished, well, for some of us it's finished, for some other states it continues on. But we had our two bond issues for the city of Boerne, one for roads and one for parks. Both of those passed. Thank you very much. That to me says council is connected to our community properly. It's aligned, and you all see the value in moving forward with those two propositions. So with those now passed, now the work begins to start doing all the things that we need to do to get those projects planned, started, and then finished. That'll take some time. As a quick reminder of what the bonds are for, we have a quick video that was put together. It has both Jeff Carroll, our excellent city engineer who does a lot of that planning work, and Lizette Jimenez from our Parks and Recreation Department doing a quick explanation of what we're going to do in those two bond issues.
First is Proposition A, which focuses on our existing streets.
And all those roads were identified because they're some of our worst scoring roads on our pavement condition index, or we call that a PCI scoring value for our city streets.
And as Director of Development Services Jeff Carroll explains,
to measure for alligatoring or potholes or cracks.
Just like in grade school, a PCI rates streets from 0 to 100.
Where 100 is a perfect brand new street and 0 is one of our worst streets. And we kind of categorize it just like in grade school, where you get A's and F's. And so many of our streets are A's, but we have a lot of our streets that are C's, D's, and F's that we'd like to reconstruct over time.
For $23 million, Prop A will reconstruct 5 city streets all across Boerne. That includes West Kronkowski, Parkway Drive, West Blanco Road, North Shooting Club Road, and the biggest improvement would be on Adler Road, which would see the most significant change.
Reconstruction and widening of Adler Road to make a 3-lane section with a continuous 2-way left turn down the middle.
Better planning and improvement of roads and mobility was referenced by residents in our 2021 Citizen Survey. All of the streets included in Prop A are part of the city's 10-year street maintenance program. However,
by doing this as part of the bond project, we'll be able to do all 4 of the reconstructions in Adler Road in a similar time frame, which will be cost savings to the public, and it'll get some of our worst streets repaired quicker, which will allow us more time to work on some of the other local streets in town.
Additionally, several existing intersections have been identified for upgrades to help keep traffic moving safely and efficiently. Now looking at Prop B, Parks and Open Space.
So there will be additional parking and trails that will be incorporated around the trees.
Lizette Jimenez, our Assistant Parks Director, walks around Northside Community Park. It's a 35-acre tract of land the city has owned since 2007, but one that remains underutilized.
In the 15 years, we've developed a playground and a skate park and public restrooms.
Prop B would fund the development and equipment of Northside Community Park to include the following features: an all-abilities playscape, a challenge course, community room, the city's first public splash pad, covered pickleball courts, covered basketball pavilion, multi-use soccer and football fields with lights, an expanded skate park, as well as flexible open space, a dog park, stormwater features, and a walking trail. Incorporated into the design are the natural features that come with the park.
We will incorporate the environment into multi-use fields. It's a great spot for it, as well as the dog park in that general area over there. So we have a lot of groups, youth affiliates, who are in need of space.
The amenities included in Northside come directly from residents' recommendations in our 2017 Parks Master Plan and our 2021 Citizen Survey, with construction ideally taking around a year and a half to complete.
Even now, with this park being undeveloped, it's still being used 7 days a week.
In addition to Northside Community Park, the $13 million price tag for Prop B would upgrade the fields and add lighting at Northrup and Boerne City Parks. Northside Neighborhood Park would see additional amenities such as picnic areas, trails, and more.
And just as again, as a reminder or education for everybody out there, what you voted for is not necessarily a guaranteed tax rate increase. You know, the last time we did a bond issue in Boerne was all the way back in 2007 under Mayor Patrick Heath. However, our past performance would suggest that this is still one of the best places on earth to live, and that means our property values will continue to increase, and that makes the work that we're doing in those bond issues really, really important. Thanks for those of you who voted for that. I also just want to give a big shout out to the Kendall County Elections Department. You guys, the whole team out there, you guys were done last night, and I'm super appreciative of that when I went and did my early voting. The volunteers that make it work inside Kendall County, you guys are awesome. The elections department in the county, you guys are awesome. And I'm glad that we're finished with our work here in Kendall County. In the meantime, happy Thanksgiving to all of you.